Welcome to another edition of Showtime with Coop. Insightful BS with my Laker teammates and NBA legends. And we always welcome anybody into the family, especially my friends. And he's from that oblong sport, not the round ball, but the football. Terance Mathis, how you doing, sir?
Man, I am blessed, man. It's good to see you. Good gracious. Hey, man, you are look, when you text me and asked me to come on your show, I told my wife and she said, who? And I had to explain to her who you were and all that stuff. And I was like, she was like, oh, okay. She still didn't understand what I was saying. But at the end of the day, I said, Coop called, want me on his show? I am there. Well, that's my dude.
We thank you. And we former alumni, Lobos, man. Yeah. That's right, Lobos.
let's you know what? You brought up see, we can take this a long way. We can have a long conversation about this.
So, Terence, let's get started, babe. This is Black History Month, so we're going to include a little bit of that, okay? Who are some of your role models growing up? You from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Always number one on the list has been my mom. You know, rest her soul. She passed away a couple of years ago. She was my mother, my father, my brother, my mentor, my coach. She was everything. So that, first of all, it was funny because I was just having lunch with my wife and we were just talking about my mom, some of the little things she taught me. One of the little details that she taught me was how to write correctly. It's funny because when people see me write and they look at it and they always think my wife wrote it because it's so neat. And I said, a woman must have wrote this. No, my mom wrote it. It was just my hand. And
you know what? It is so shocking you would say that because my mom, who passed away a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago now, that was the main thing that she said to me. Michael, when you write your name, people have to be able to read it. And that's I knew we were kindred spirits, man.
It's the little things. It's the little things. And then, you know, growing up, it's funny because, you know, I grew up in a time where O.J. Simpson was that dude. You know, everybody had a poster of O.J. Simpson. And then, you know, you had guys like Walter Payton, Eric Dickerson. See, I'm a wide receiver, but I was raised as a running back. And then, you know, Eric Dickerson. Then you look at your Doug Williams. Then here comes Jerry Rice and Drew Pearson and all those guys, Starworth and Swan. And then, you know, the game started just, you know, evolving into something different for me. And then you go on the basketball side. I remember the Iceman Gervin poster.
Greatest poster of all time, baby.
That was my dude. and then here come the Lakers Showtime with Cooper Loop and Magic and see here's the beauty of all this, Ari. All these people I've talked about, I have met in my lifetime. And had conversations with them. And that's the cool thing, because even though I'll be 55 in June, I still feel like I'm 15. Like when looking at Coop, I still feel like I'm 15, like, oh, that's my dude. You know, even, you know, that's the respect that I have for those before me. You know, I'm gonna always give them respect because they paved the way. I don't care what sport you in. They paved the way for us as not just athletes, for Black athletes to be able to shine and get the gifts that we receive as far as endorsements, big contracts, whatever it may be. And if we don't salute them now, one day it's gonna be too late. So every time I get an opportunity, I'm gonna give you guys praise.
Y'all, thank you, because I'm still here, baby. So thank you for my
man. I'm gonna give you your roses while you alive, baby. While you alive.
So Terence, you just talked about some fantastic Black athletes. I think one that you left out was Jim Kelly from the Cleveland Browns, because I grew up a Cleveland Brown fan.
Right.
Kelly, but that's neither here nor there. But was Black history, was that taught in your family? You know, obviously you're looking at these famous Black athletes and stuff, but what was Black history taught to you coming up?
Oh, it was right away. Here's the thing, you don't know. I lived in Detroit until I was 11 years old. So, you know, it was everything up north every day was Black history, you know. Then when I moved to the South, when I was 12 years old and moved to Stone Mountain, Georgia, the sense of Black history really stuck then, because that was still in the early 80s, that was still KKK prevalent territory. So, I remember going to school, my mom signing me up, we were going to register for school, and this big truck ride by, and these white guys say, hey, Ian, go home. And that's the first time I ever heard a white man call me that. And I was running towards the street, and my mom grabbed me real quick. And I was like, come back here and say that in my face. My mom said, whoa, 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 whoa. She said, what's your name? I said, it's Terance. Well, they weren't talking to you. They weren't talking to you because that's not your name. And that was the first time, that's the first education I got from my mom right there. They can call you whatever you called you, but I named you Terance, and that's who you are. And, and I was at a predominantly all white school, and it was just, in that time, it was still, we were still busing kids to our school, at the time. So Black history was very important to us because we had to keep our identity and who we truly were in an environment that most people didn't accept us. But, we stuck together as Black athletes, Black students, and friends to make sure we still talk today. We on group chats today from, group 84 class, 85 class. And it's just, we were, even in school, we were taught Black history. Black History Month came up. It was always something about Black history. There was a play or an assembly or something of that sort. And today they don't even teach it in school anymore. It's not even taught. And it's pretty sad that it's that way. It's almost like trying to forget that we helped build this country.
Yeah.
They went to get us to help build this country and make them wealthy. And now you want to try to forget about us who laid the pavement for you to walk on and to drive on. And here's the thing, what I like about this generation though, Coop, is this new generation don't care. They're gonna tell you how they feel. And they're gonna go do. And they will call on a protest in a minute. Yeah. And big businesses are scared of this generation of Black women and Black men, because at the end of the day, if they call for a boycott, that's millions and billions of dollars that you're losing. So you now, even though we're moving slowly to that point, now big corporations are starting to understand the type of influence we have and the type of money we have. You got to understand, we spend over $1 trillion in consumer goods as Black people in America a year. $1 trillion a year. Imagine that, Coop. So, yeah. So if we say, and we're talking about consumer goods, we're talking about Tide and cereal, we're talking about milk. If we say, okay, if there's a mass thing goes around, says we're gonna boycott. I'm just saying, I'm not saying we're gonna do it. We're gonna boycott Coca-Cola. They lose millions a day. Yep. If we don't go buy Coca-Cola. You see, or any of their products, Sprite, Minute Maid, whatever it may be. So there was a gap somewhere over the last 10 to 15 years where we as Black people didn't step up and stand proud of who we were. Some did, but now since the Black Lives Matter movement, now there's young Black people are just standing up and being proud of who they are, and they're making me proud, and they're making me go, oh shoot, the torch was passed to me and I blew the torch out. I got to relight this torch and let them understand what this torch means and pass it to them. And that's what Black history means to me. It's better, Coop, but we still got a long ways to go, man.
Long way. And now through all our trials and tribulations, we come through things, we find the love. Mine was basketball. Yeah. You found football. Yeah. Did you, as you mentioned that moment where that incident happened where they call you the N-word, because that happened to me as a young person. But once I got involved with sports, that line kind of became blurred a little bit, because again, one of my high school coaches told me, he said, listen, we're not white or Black, we're teammates. Mm-hmm. And my high school team was Pasadena Bulldogs. We're all Bulldogs. Right. once you enter into that world, were you able to overcome or kind of like fight through the fog of racism a little bit?
You kind of do. You kind of find yourself when you become that athlete that everybody expects you to be. It's funny that you say that, Coop, but when you reach a level of what they call stardom or popularity, you're not Black anymore. You're just Terance, the athlete. You see what I'm saying? You understand where I'm going with that?
Yep.
So, but you have to be very, very careful because, I would always say this, and my mom would always say this to me too. She says, understand this, son. All those people that love you, that don't look like you, how many of them ever invited you over the house to eat?
Wow.
Or she took it even further. What if their daughter brought you home? So I had to be conscious of, okay, who are genuinely love me because of me, my color and all, or just love me because I can catch a football, run fast, and score touchdowns. You see what I'm saying? So you almost got to separate the two, and you got to be cautious of everybody you meet, but be generous to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Be cordial to everybody you meet, and everybody's not for your good. So like you said, when you start playing sports and there's black and white, like you said, you're just teammates. And you're all fighting for one. That's what I love about football, Coop, is that you can get 53 guys from all walks of life and bring them into the building. It doesn't matter what they believe in, where they come from, how much money they make, how big, how small they are. We're fighting for one thing, and that's to win a championship. I don't ever say, oh, that white receiver over there. No, that's Tim DeWhite. You know what I'm saying? Not that white quarterback. That's Chris Chandler. That's my teammate. So we're brothers in this. And I think football, as we seen lately, is a microcosm of life. And the thing that if 53 guys can get together to fight for one cause, and that's to win championships, why can't pockets of America come together to fight for one cause, and that's peace and equality and inclusion for all? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And people don't understand if you do that, and if it's about money, if you do that, there's a whole lot of money to be made when you come together. Now it ain't, oh, this group got this group got that. Now you're making a whole lot of money building together, and now everybody gets a piece of the pie and happy. Instead of saying, oh, we don't want to include them because what they look like or what they believe in or what their religion is. We don't want to include them. We're going to keep this big pile right here, this big piece of the pie right here, and we're going to just give them crumbs to just say, we see you. And Coop, I can go on and on. You touched the nerve with me when you asked me those questions.
It's Black History Month. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you touched the nerve with me. You touched the nerve with me.
You're listening to Showtime with Coop. We have Terance Mathis in the house talking a little bit about Black History Month. But now, Terance, we're at the point of the show where it's called Coop's Lightning Round.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 5 names, and you tell me as much or as little about the people I'm going to ask you about, okay?
Okay.
First one is Malcolm X.
Oh, my goodness. All means necessary. Any means necessary. That's that. Any means necessary. What Malcolm said years ago is prevalent today. And if you listen to some of his speeches, you can put him in in front of a microphone right now, and it will resonate in today.
Rosa Parks.
Oh my goodness. Here's a selfless woman who decided that enough is enough. Enough is enough. I don't care what you do to me, but enough is enough. She didn't set out to be that martyr. She didn't set out to be that example, but she was just tired. She was, enough was enough. I'm gonna sit where I look. This empty seat. I'm gonna sit down. And I think, again, you look at today's generation, they say the same thing. Enough is enough. You push me too far. See how I'm gonna react to that. So that's, Rosa Parks has set that bar where, hey, enough is enough. Stop pushing us in the back. We need to be up front too.
You know, she reminds me so much about mom, because I can see my mom getting on the bus, been working all day, her feet is tired. She says, I ain't moving. This is where I'm sitting and I'm there. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Why did I get stuck on that one? Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady has had a remarkable career. You know, there's a debate on if he's the greatest of all times. So, you know, when people say great of all times, to me, it means that he could have played in any generation. And now you got to ask the question, can't Tom Brady play in any generation of football? Talking about from Jim Brown to the Lawrence Taylor era, you know, to the Joe Montanas, to the, you know, so on and so forth. So now you have to make that decision. Well, would he have done the things he has done in that generational era to say that he's the greatest of all time? And so me, I have to question that. But he's the greatest of these times. But I can't say of all time.
Martin Luther King, Dr. King.
Hey man, everybody wants to speak so eloquently like Dr. King. Everything that he says and everything that he's meant to America, not just Black people, but America, is just, he's just an icon, man. And the thing is, you know, when I speak, I want to be like King and, you know, encourage people and engage people to the point that they want to do better and they want to help others. And that's who Martin Luther King was.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Oh man, dude. Jeez. Kobe Bryant Kobe Bryant didn't get an opportunity to really be what God wanted him to be. We knew who he was as a basketball player, as a father, as a husband, as a friend to others. But Kobe was on his way to be something different than that. He was on his way of being that mentor to those who really needed it and that wanted it. And his passing has, man, you know, when you said the name, it just, Coop, dude, I've never met Kobe, but I feel like I've known Kobe all my life, or all his life. And he's just a remarkable human being. You know, I forget about the playing. He's just a remarkable human being. And if you want to talk about his playing, you know, he took the attitude of, look, any means necessary.
Yeah. Great.
And you're not going to push me around. I'm not going to be in the back. And I'm going to do it with eloquence and style, where it's going to be engaging. That's who Kobe Bryant is.
Listening to Terance Mathis on Showtime with Coop. Terance was drafted in 1990 by the New York Jets. Ended up the remainder of his career. Why the way you sound like that is like if I was drafted by the Clippers, oh my God, yeah. But anyway, you ended up playing the majority of your career in Atlanta Falcons in front of your home fans and back where you belong. Was that difficult for you? And I know it's difficult for me, the ticket requests. I mean, did you have those same kind of issues?
I did, you know, at first I did, you know, when I came back home from the Jets, you know, I was happy. I knew where to go. I knew where to live, my friends, my family. It was comfortable for me. And it was, you know, people ask me all the time, with all that goes on in Atlanta, I mean, it's Black Hollywood. I mean, how could you concentrate and play at that level knowing that all those things were around? Well, first of all, I grew up here, so I knew what to expect. And then secondly, once I got married, everything stopped.
There to do that.
It was time to do that. God said, boy, if you don't get married and settle down, look. And I was like, Lord, I'm listening to you. And guess what he did? He sent me an angel. We've been married for 24 years now. And that's been my saving grace, because I might have been, you might have been reading about me in Sports Illustrated. Oh, Terance Mathis is number 10 on the list of broke athletes who played 13 years in the NFL.
Ari, Terence, one of my buddies I work with at Sirius XM is Dave Archer, who is the former Falcons quarterback and now does Falcons radio. And so I asked him about you, and he says, you're one of the best receivers in the history of the Atlanta Falcons organization. What does that mean to you?
That means a lot to me. Here's the thing that I'm gonna say about that is this, I set the bar, I set the bar, back then when I caught over 100 balls, it was not a receiver under 6 feet who caught 100 balls in a season. And I played in the era with Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, Michael Irvin, Randy Moss, guys, Andre Reed, guys like that. And, sometimes, you feel like you should get more credit for what you've done, but I know what I've done. Others know what I've done, and I can live comfortably and be comfortable with what I've accomplished. And I did it in the era when we weren't throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game.
Not like today.
So that means, I take pride in that, because that means I was catching a ball at an 80, 90% clip when I was targeted, because every catch had mattered and counted because of the fact that we weren't going to get a whole lot. Now today guys get targeted 15, 16, 18 times in a game and only catching 9 balls. I mean, come on, man, that's 50%. That's not good. So, and that's what's wrong with football today, is that people who don't understand the game as much, they look at, oh, he's been targeted 15 times and he caught 7 balls and he's this great receiver. Huh? Really? So you telling me all I needed to be is targeted 15 times a game and I'll be in the Hall of Fame?
It's a different world, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different world.
Yeah, you're right.
And so, I'm like, but you know what? Look, you can't complain. Coop, you know how it is. You can't complain. Look, the game changes. It's supposed to be for the better, but we always say, this guy couldn't play in our generation. There wasn't no 5-yard rule. Look, we were getting bumped all the way down the field, and there wasn't no illegal hits to the head or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It was bam, bam, bam.
You went over the middle a lot, and I mean,
I played between the numbers, and you talking about getting hit? Oh my goodness!
A lot of illegal hits
guys today. Yeah, these guys today, they catch the ball and. Shoot, I used to catch the ball. My eyes used to get this big, waiting for something to happen.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, here comes something. Today, these guys go, don't even play with their mouthpiece in. That mouthpiece be hanging out there. I'm like, shoot, we play without a mouthpiece. You're going to get all your teeth knocked out.
Well, see, you were recognized as in 1994, you were a Pro Bowler, and you were all pro in 1994. So people knew, and they knew who you were, man. You were recognized for that.
They know. And the thing is, Coop, look, dude, I am so proud. Here it is. I'm so proud of what I've accomplished coming from a single parent home. From age 9, I've been told you can't, you won't. You shouldn't. And here we are talking about a career that some people said would never happen. So, and I always tell them, people say, how did it happen? I said, because of God. I said, I had a praying grandmother and a praying mother, and that's all they prayed about was me to be successful. Give me the desires of my heart. That's all it was. So when I got to high school, my steps was ordered from there. I knew where I was going. There was no doubt in my mind, Coop, that I wasn't going to play NFL. I didn't care what people said. There was no doubt in my mind I was not going to play NFL football. There was no doubt.
You listen to Terance Mathis on Showtime with Coop. A couple more for you, Terance, because we know you're busy. You're a high school coach now. You coach a high school football, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm a high school coach. I coach high school basketball out here. To the big game we got coming in, 48 hours, 72 hours, something like that? Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Well, before you even go there, Cooper, see, first of all, why are you coaching high school basketball? And why am I coaching high school football? Why aren't we coaching at our alma maters?
Hey, listen, that's for another show.
Look, we're not gonna go. That's for a different show. That's for a different show.
That's different show.
That's for a different show.
Okay.
That's for a different show.
My answer to your question is I enjoy, you know what? God gave me a special talent, a talent that he only gives a few.
Yes.
And we used it the right way. We were able to accomplish our dreams.
Right.
We were able to be successful in our sport. And I just feel for me, I have to give it back. I always love giving back. And, you know, I've coached at the pro game. I coached a little bit with the Lakers and Denver Nuggets. And guys, the new athletes are just, they know everything.
Right.
I coach women, which I really enjoy coaching at. But for high school, I enjoy coaching high school kids because they're receptive to what we have to give. They're ready for the fundamental aspect that you have to learn so you can get better with your craft as you become more powerful athletically. So for me, I just enjoy it at this point in time in my life.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You know, they're like sponges because they respect everything that you're saying because, you know, we that have played at the highest level is one of those things that I'm never going to tell you to do something I haven't done before.
Exactly.
Or I'm not going to tell you something that I can't do now. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the truth of the matter is, and you have so many coaches out there having kids do things that they've never done before or can't demonstrate. Yeah. So a lot of these kids are lost. And the thing is, it's hard for us who that loves the game so much, and it's not about us. It's about the young men that it's almost Coop. It's almost like this for us. We get punished because we played the game for a long time. And those that didn't get elevated quicker, and they're supposed to be smarter and more intelligent than we are in the game. And I'm going, well, okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of that. But do you know the player? Do you know what he goes through daily? Do you know the grind? Do you know the mentality? Do you know what it takes to play at a high level? Do you know when that player is tired and you got to pull him a little bit to get him, or something went wrong at home, and if you don't know that, how you gonna coach a kid to play at this highest level if you don't know that? You see what I'm saying, Coop? Yep. But back to your first question, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
You know what? You keep throwing me curveball, man, because you open up a whole nother can of worms. I predict this, Terence. Lobo's they're gonna come calling you one day, man. Why?
Hey, man, you Coop, you knew when you called me that I was gonna go there. You had to know I was gonna go there. Because when I heard that you wanted the job 2-3 years ago, I texted you and was like, man, I hope you get the job.
Exactly. Yeah.
I said, I'm praying for you to get the job. And at the same time, the football job was open. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if I was coaching across the street from you whatsoever? I said, that'd have been a great thing. I said, that'd have been a great thing for the community, for the conference, for the nation to say, wow, that'd have been a good look for the university, right? Yep. But, so be it.
And we'll say that for our Lobo show, because we're gonna really
stay that for a Lobo show. Well, but Coop, here's the thing. I'm not mad. Yeah, I'm not mad.
You're mad, man.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. They called me for recruits over here in Georgia, and I help them. So if I was mad, I'd have been like, hey man, don't call me about that. Yeah. But I love my university, and I love where I played football, and I want them to be successful. So I'm gonna help any kind of way I can. I don't care how you feel about me. It ain't about me. It ain't about your feelings about me. It's about those 88 kids that are on scholarship and those another 14 or 15 walk-ons or whatever you may have. It's about them. It ain't about me and you. It's about them. So until you realize that, don't come have any conversation with me any other way.
Terence, you know what? I really do believe we were brothers, and we just got separated at birth because, I mean, you sound exactly like I do. You got the same feeling, but again, that's what it's like. Ask you this question, and Ari has one, and we're going to let you go. Get out of here. What would cause Antonio Brown to have the kind of meltdown that he did? And we understand that he has some issues, things going on.
I don't know, man. I really don't, you know. That's one of those things that I just don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's one of those things, you know, he says he's okay. You know, he has no mental health issues or anything like that. That's what he says. But I don't know what would cause that. I just can't see a situation, me being on the side, even if I'm going nose to nose with the head coach, for me to just leave the football field.
Yeah.
I don't, even if the coach said leave, I would have to say, Coach, I'm not going anywhere. I love this game. I love my teammates. You know, I want to play, you know, and then you say that to a coach where your other teammates hear that, guess what happens? Now your coach looking around going, now he going, wait a minute, I might lose these guys because this guy really want to be here. So, but I don't know, man. It's just it's amazing to me how that happens. And you know, the thing is, he probably gonna get another chance to play.
You think so?
Because he's that talented. He's that talented.
Man, that's hard one there.
Think about it. All it takes, Coop, is just to stay quiet for the next 3 months or so. Work out, stay out of trouble. You know, people start to say good things about you again. He's okay, blah, blah, blah. He's different. Somebody's going to bring him in for a tryout. And before you know it, he'll be on the roster.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Hey, let's see if he can stay quiet. Ari?
Well, he needs to come stay with me for a couple of weeks where I can, hey, man, let me pray for you. Let me put hands on you. Let's talk about this thing, man. This is what you need to do to finish your career. Dude, if you want to go, look, forget all the nonsense, man. Just go do you.
And you can't make that kind of money anywhere else. You know, that kind of talent. So
yeah, and that's crazy.
Yeah. So what are you doing now? It seems like obviously people listening to you, I'm sure, would imagine that you mentor aside from coaching, and I know you've had programs over the years with kids. So tell people what you do now.
Actually, I have my own little YouTube show that I do weekly.
Nice.
It's a football show. It's pretty much about all of football, but it directly towards the Atlanta Falcons. And it's nice. The reason why I like the show is because I can be who I want to be, and nobody has to give me a rundown and tell me how to do. I've done TV, I've done radio where I couldn't be me, and I just didn't like it. But on this show, I get a chance to talk about the game, but at the same time, when we finish the show, the host always says to me, he says, Terance, what do you have for us today? And I usually have a scripture or something of encouragement for the audience, and that's my platform. And I get asked to do it, speaking engagements whatsoever. But right now, my biggest concern, I have a daughter who graduated college. I have a son who's a sophomore in college. I'm an empty nester, so my biggest thing now is about me and my wife. Our relationships.
I'm almost there, Terence. I'm almost there. So I'm gonna have to call you for some advice.
Yeah, man. You should, because it's cool. Let me tell you, don't believe what people say when they say when you come empty nesters. No. This is like dating all over again, man.
Yep.
It is cool. That's why I was late. I was at lunch with her, and I'm like,
all right, we forgive you then, okay?
Hey, man, we'll take little trips, we'll go places and do things, and what do you want to do? Let's go, and it's it's one of those things. We sit, we watch movies, we laugh, we joke, it's like dating all over again. So that's, if anything, if I can tell young couples out there, you got to get involved with each other, man. That's when it's like this, is the best.
Oh, Terence, I know the last question for me. Now you got the NASCAR. You're involved with that.
Oh, I did that for a little while, man. And it was, I remember I had a marketing company. This is how I got into it, Coop. I had a marketing company. And we used to do, we had a mobile marketing truck. We had a big screen on it. And we used to do stuff for Bad Boy Records. So Puffy would give us new music, new videos, whatsoever. Nice. And we'd ride around town, the club scene. We'd go to the Source Awards. You know, we've done stuff with Eminem, with Steve Harvey. We've done stuff with all these people, and we was doing really well. But then when iTunes came out, you know, he really didn't need us anymore, because now you can get your product out by a press of a button.
Yeah.
And then one day, you know, so NASCAR had started Drive for Diversity. That's what their new slogan was. And they was trying to get more diverse into NASCAR. So I met a guy, and he says to me, he says, hey, do you know anyone who wants to be an owner of a NASCAR team? We was just trying to be the diversity. We was just trying to be the marketing end in the South with NASCAR. So I said, I may have a few individuals. So I called up one individual whatsoever, and you're going to figure it out in a second. And so he said, yeah, I'm in. Just get it all together. So I go to a race, and I heard this engine roar, and I ran to the fence and was like a little kid going, oh my God, what is this? Them cars, vroom, vroom. And I said, oh my goodness. That was the energy that I needed, that competitive that I needed again, that I had, you know, been away for about 3 or 4 years. So I called the guy up. Well, we met with a team, and I said, this is what I need. I need this. Team said, good. Well, we want 50% ownership of the team. Good. I go back to my guy and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what they're going to do. They're changing the car number to number 7, and it's going to be called Victory Motorsports. And so he was like, cool. So then his agent came in and just scrapped everything. I had sponsors, McDonald's, Nike, American Express, because of who the guy was. Uh-huh. And I even had a guy call me that did merchandise for NASCAR and was offering me $1.5 million up front to have his marketing deal. And then they was going to give us a generous split in the market, in the management and the selling of the merchandise. And it all went away. So then I called the guys back and said, well, Terence, we don't need him. We're going to we want you to be the 50% partner. And that's how I got into NASCAR. And I never got an opportunity to put a car on the track. It's because, you know, when you're a one-man team, when you have all these big teams, it's funny, you call a company and they interested. Yeah. Let's do the deal. You waiting, you call them back. Well, Roush Motorsports called, we're going to go with them. So you can't compete with, they were like the Power 5 of the college football, this team. So, you know, and I just kind of just said, you know, it was one of those jobs, man, that it was almost 24/7, Coop. I would leave on a Wednesday, go to the track, and I'll come back to Sunday nights. Wow. And I had little kids at the time. My wife's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm gonna have to retire from this. And I did. But you know, it's so funny, every year someone calls me trying to get me back into NASCAR. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Well, all they got to do is get you to the gate to hear that vroom, and maybe that's
well, Coop, listen to this. And people won't even say this. And this is a very, very true story. I called MJ when I was doing this. And MJ said, man, I would love to do this, but got some of my money into the motorcycle. I mean, he's doing the motorcycle racing. Uh-huh. Motorcycle teams, right? Motorcycle racing team. He says, once I get out of that, give me a call and we'll talk about it. So all these minorities that owning teams now, guess who opened the door for them?
Cool.
Because because no one was talking to the president of NASCAR. No one was talking to, I was the one going talking to him. I'm sitting in the diversity meetings telling them this is not how you do diversity in Black America, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling them, gave them the roadmap, how to get more African Americans involved into NASCAR. And look where it is today.
Wow. There you have it. Terance Mathis with us. It's been great having you, my brother. I want to thank you. Thank you, dude.
Coop, man. Ari, I can tell you some stories, but we're going to say that for another time.
Hey. What went down in the land of enchantment stays in the land of enchantment.
You mean the land of entrapment? Nothing never leaves there, so it's trapped in there. That's why we call it the land of entrapment.
Terance, thank you, my brother. I love you.
Thank you, brother. Much love.
Wonderful Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
And hey, man, listen, can you pray for the Lakers?
Hey, I thought you was gonna ask me about basketball, man. I thought you was gonna ask me about the Lakers. We got more time. I know we do. And don't
give us a spiel on the Lakers.
Before we go, can I talk about the Lakers?
Yes, let's do that.
Can I talk about the Lakers?
It's taking you that long?
No, because I'm gonna put it in a way where
not a good team.
I'm gonna put it in a way where it's gonna make sense. When you alienate the Magic Man, which just happened recently, when you take away the logos, season tickets, what do you think gonna happen to you? What do you think gonna happen to you? When you almost at a point where, and this is just me from the outside looking in, it may not be that way, to the point that it almost over the last few years, it's almost like Kobe didn't even play for the Lakers when LeBron James came. So you had LeBron James come in and start making, this is what we need, this is what we want, this is what I want. The Lakers was never built like that.
Nope, they sure was.
Lakers was never, ever built like that. Magic, Kareem never went out and said, let's go get such and such, and this is what we need to be successful. You found a way with what you had to win basketball games. You made each other better.
Yeah.
You didn't go get somebody that was better than somebody on the other team. No. If you're a superstar, if you're the best in the game, you don't need anyone else to get a championship because you're making everybody else around you better. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Lakers have done some things over the last 5 to 7 years it's coming back to bite them right now. Like the old folks say, the rooster come home to roost.
You got that old soul. Terance Mathis, thank you, my brother. Have a wonderful day, man.
Man, I love you. Ari,
Okay.
Ari, listen to me, Ari. When Cooper and I get together, it's like this all the time.
Nice.
Laughs and funs, man.
Awesome.
Cool. I can't wait to. Hey, man, if you're gonna wait another 30 years for us to see each other, we ain't gonna be here, man.
Oh no, we're gonna come back to you real soon. We both bald now, so
I'll be 84. So come on, man. I'm still kicking.
love you, Terance. Take care, man.
Man, love you, brother.
Okay.
Later. Take care.